Penix with time is intercepted.
That's completely on Penix. 100%.
Shaw Smith-Wade takes it in. Falcons need it. Penix looks, passes, intercepted. Mike Jackson, who might take this to distance. Penix gets a piece of him. Jackson stays on his feet, reverses field, tries to spin away. But it's the second interception thrown by Michael Penix this afternoon.
My people. Welcome to Bird Talk, man. Falcons fans, we got to talk about this. As you can see, riding solo today. I wanted to make sure we had a safe space for you all. The game against the Carolina Panthers was rough, man. There's no way to slice it. There's no way to put it any other way. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, man. And you're coming off the high of a wonderful Sunday night victory. And this is how you throw a wet blanket over it, man. We're gonna get into all that today, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. And like I said, this is a safe space for you. Hopefully, I'm up on the 25th floor right now. I have not been tempted to take a peek over. It's gonna be all right, you know. And if you're a Falcon fan, you're probably used to having these kind of Monday mornings that you wake up to. So, you guys, do yourself a favor, man. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're a Falcons fan, like I said, this is a place that is safe for you. We're going to vent. We're going to get it all out. We're going to talk about what this team can do to improve, what the issues are, all of that stuff, man. So this is the place to be. Of course, myself and my brother B. Woo give you some of the best NFL content, and specifically right here on this show, the best Atlanta Falcons content that you're going to find anywhere in the world. Yeah, man, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give us your comments. Today is going to be a day for the comments, man. When you're watching this, let it all out, man. It'll be very therapeutic for you. And it seems like it's too early in the season to keep saying this. This is only week 3. We had that talk after week 1. We still got a lot of the same issues going on. And like I said, this is gonna be a show where you can get all of those feelings that you're having inside. My guy, my cousin, longtime Dirty Bird fan, Stuff, aka Zachary. He likes to say this is a toxic relationship, man. Being a Falcon fan, it is very much so that, man. That's exactly what it is. So, man, you know, I got my Jesus Peace shirt on today. Hopefully, you guys can find some peace and some solace in this episode today, where we break down what happened in this horrible loss and get into it, man. And we're gonna get right to it right away, man. The first thing that we want to talk about. Last week we came in saying, hey, Parker Romo goes 5 for 5. First kick was a little shaky, but you know, at the end of the day, he knocked all 5 of them in against Minnesota. You needed him. Falcon of the game, just a little forecasting or foreshadowing. I don't know that we're gonna have a Falcon of the game this week. He got half of my Falcon of the game last week. I gave it to him and Bijan Robinson. I say all that to say, listen, man. the Falcons have to do something about that kicker. Koo is gone. They cut Koo on Thursday. Officially, they made it official. Pulled Parker Romo off of the practice squad and decided to give him the job. Now, I put a short out last week that said, have the Falcons found a kicker? It was a question mark behind that because kicking can be a very here today, gone tomorrow type thing, man. That's why I didn't understand why they were holding on to Coop for so long. And you don't want to just run through kicker after kicker. However, you don't want to continue to get the same results that you're getting and, not even explore other options. And they finally did the right thing, let Younghoe Koo go, sent out a thank you tweet and social media post to him, and give Parker Romo the job. And Parker Romo comes out and does what? He misses 2 kicks immediately, right away, man. And it's like, what are we doing here, man? I think the first kick was a 49-yarder, went wide right. And then after that, he's an equal opportunist. He kicks a 55-yarder wide left, man. And this is, like I said, a couple days after you let Younghoe Koo, who's been costing you games, go. And, he made some comments after the game, Parker Romo. He said, you just have to forget about it. Now, this is why I said you got to get rid of Younghoe Koo, because it's a mental thing, man. Obviously, looking at, kicking, these guys have done this for most of their life, man. And most of them can knock home a 50-yarder. If you ever been to a practice, it's not a problem, guys. At practice and knocking them down all day. But once you get in that game and it's live ammunition and you got to really perform and the pressure's on you. And the funny thing is the Falcons aren't necessarily even a team that seems like should have that pressure cooker moment like that. But, I guess it's an NFL job, man. And these kicks he missed were early in the game. So it's like you made 5 of them when you were on the practice squad. You get the job, and maybe like it's real to you now. Like, oh, this is really my job. Everybody is hating on Koo. I'm the boy, the babe, the toast of the town for a week because I made these kicks, and people are happy to see me here. And you go from sugar to ish real quick, man. And that's the life of a kicker, I guess. At the end of the day. But I will say this: I think the Falcons probably are going to stick with Mr. Romo maybe for the rest of this week, but they don't really have time to play around. They wanted to. They still don't have a kicker. They got to be doing auditions. I know they probably got Monday off. Maybe, I don't know. They lost, so maybe they don't have today off. They have to get a kicker in there and get this situation solved. Now, they have another kicker on the roster, I think, actually. A guy that they're trying to develop. I guess he supposedly has a big leg. He was on the team preseason as well. But man, at some point, it's 3 phases of the game, and special teams definitely did not show up in this game today. You got guys dropping kickoff returns, all kind of stuff going on, giving them bad field position. A lot went into we're cutting up the slice of pies. Special teams gets a nice good chunk of it, and the offense and the next guy I'm about to talk about gets a big chunk and slice of it as well, man. As far as who's to blame for this loss. Now, you got to be sound in the kicking game, man. Any team that's going to be successful, you're going to have to depend on your kicker at some point. So it's a must to get that situation taken care of, man. Now, I'm here in paradise, man, and I have to deal with this and talk about these guys. You see, the sun is coming up now. But I wasn't even gonna address, or I was debating. I talked to B Woo, man. I said, man, we should record. Maybe we should. We'll record when I get back to Atlanta. But I just had this sitting on my chest so heavy, Falcons fans. And if you watch our content, hey, I've since gotten off of the Falcon narcotic. I'm just an innocent bystander, still trying to pull my people that I love who root for this team in and say, hey, man, you know what? Maybe, maybe this isn't the best idea. And if you saw last week's episode after the victory, I see how they reel you in because I was saying we got to do this, and I'm back. And man, listen, man, the feeling that you get when this team shows up and plays the way they did, losing 30 to nothing. I buried the lead, I guess, but if you're here, while we're here. They lose this game to Carolina 30 to net, and it's just it's unfortunate, man. Now, I talked a little bit about Michael Penix last week and the red zone issues, and in that clip last week, the episode, I said last week may have been the worst game in Michael Penix's young career. B. Wu said, "You said this is his worst game," but and that was maybe a backhanded compliment, I guess, maybe because he has been playing so well as far as getting the ball down the field at the end of the season last year. His 3 games he started, throwing the ball down the field, being accurate down the field, getting Pitts involved, Kyle Pitts, all these kind of things, seeming to be building a relationship. And in week 1, I gave him a little bit of a pass because obviously they were not giving him a lot of stuff. He was hitting Bijan Robinson, hitting the checkdowns. Guys were making plays from him that way. They didn't have Mooney, who's their deep threat in week 1. So I understand Drake got hurt in the game in week 1. So, and it's week 1, and I'm so sick and tired with this team is talking about they don't play in preseason. So it maybe takes them some time to get ramped up. And we know this has been a built-in excuse for this team too, which is ridiculous, first and foremost. Like, you don't have you don't have a 10-year veteran at quarterback. You don't have a head coach that has won so many games and championships that he knows and can kind of get a pulse on. Hey, I know my team is ready and prepared. We've done this before. This works for us. None of that stuff is present with this team, yet they try to conduct themselves in that manner. And it really makes them look foolish in situations like this when you get smacked in the mouth by a Carolina team that looked horrible. And I'm not going to say horrible, but they didn't look this good. Vegas thought you were a 5.5 point favorite. I think the number went down to 4.5 by the time kickoff started. On the road against this team, and a division rival at that. You were supposed to handle your business in this game, especially after what you did in Minnesota. And, like I said, I don't want to use the excuse of, well, they didn't have preseason, but it's kind of something to talk about now. Penix, I think, in this game went 18 for 36. When you go 50%, that's a great batting average to have. You're Hall of Famer if you have a 50% average. If you hit 500. But as a quarterback, hitting only 50% of your passes is not going to get the job done. People want to see you more in that 70% range of completing your passes. And the other thing that is a big issue amongst a lot of things, because you got a pick 6 that you threw in this game, is you're only getting 4.7 yards and a 10. He had 172 yards on 18 to 36. They aren't getting the ball down the field. The reason you drafted this guy was because he can push the ball down the field. And I know, they're saying, well, I saw D'Orlando Ledbetter talking about, the Falcons beat writer for AJC. I saw him talking about, well, they're putting a lot of cover 2 shells and deep, and they're keeping the safeties deep. They don't want they know the young man has a big arm, and they want to make him, use the middle of the field to check down. And he was doing what the offense gave. What the defense gave, right? I think you still have to put pressure on the defense, even though, you have to dictate to the defense what they're going to do. And of course, the way that was spent, because the Falcons organization, they are some great spin masters, by the way. This is why Bijan and Tyler were able to get the 200-yard rushing game against Minnesota, because, they're so concerned about us getting the ball down the field. Things are open in the running game, so we're going to pound them with the running game. And that's cool. I can dig that, man. But you still, if this is a strength of yours, if you drafted this quarterback, number 8 overall, you just paid another quarterback $100 million to start for you because you like this guy's arm talent and generational arm talent. You can't then allow the defense to dictate that you're not going to throw the ball deep down the field. You have guys who can get downfield, and Darnell Mooney. Drake may be more of a possession receiver. I don't know that he's necessarily a deep guy. You have this quote unquote unicorn you drafted at tight end. You have talent that should be able to do what you drafted and signed these guys for. why is this not working? Huh? Why are you not getting the ball down the field? And every now and then, it's cool. You don't want to be so risk adverse that you're worried about, oh, if I turn the ball over or something. Sometimes you got to take some chances, man. Now, I'm not saying be a gunslinger like Brett Favre and just, throw caution to the wind. But what I am saying is you have to take some chances, take your shots, because that's going to open things up even more for the running game, which it has already. But it's also going to allow your weapons that you have to actually perform and do what they do. Penix, I talked about through the pick six, man, when they had the ball down deep in the territory, their own territory. It was just a rough. It's no way to slice it, man. It was a rough game all the way around. You know, uh, but these are things that are going to happen with a young quarterback. He's essentially, this was his sixth NFL start. So you think about that. He's still a rookie, really, man. He's only made 6 starts in this league, and he's older at being 24 or 25 now. How old he is, somewhere in that range. But you're going to get these growing pains, man. So, you don't want the young man to lose confidence. Hopefully, he doesn't. Putting a goose egg on the pardon me, I'm outside recording this. That's somebody riding a very loud motorcycle. You don't want the guy to lose his confidence and his ability. Hopefully he has it, because I don't know how many times great quarterbacks lose games 30 to nothing to get shut out, but it can happen. It's happened. Not that it can happen, it has happened. What are you going to do to bounce back from this? I was side note talking to my wife just about how we parent and stuff like that, and talking about adversity. When adversity comes, the thing that's going to show the kind of person you are, and this is how we try to raise our kids and tell them this is, you don't just say, oh, I'm going to fold up when the times get tough, because you're going to have obstacles that come your way. If it has people worried, or they think, oh, this could be an issue, then you never really believed in what this guy's capable of, I guess. So I'm not saying jump off the bandwagon yet. I'm saying there's a combination of things. I think he has to go through some growing pains and kind of learn, because he's still young in the NFL as far as only making 6 starts. I think the offensive coordinator, who has not been a play caller until he got here, he was under Sean McVay. I think he is having some growing pains as far as how he wants to call the offense as well. The red zone problems we talked about last week. You can see little things that made you say, okay, the defense is great, but and they won that game 22-6. They were playing another quarterback that was not, too great of shakes either. And you got able to get after that guy, and that's why you won that game. But you were selling for a lot of field goals and not executing, not getting the plays in. Had the same issues again as far as headset, getting plays into them. These are growing pains that young guys will have to go through. And I saw guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts and all them say, hey, it is what it is. Drake London, to quote him, he said, hey, this game will humble you. We got to get back to practice. We have a long season ahead of us. We have to get it right and do everything possible and make sure this never happens again. I think even Kyle Pitts, I think, said, hey, we support our guy, which part of my issue is Raheem, come to the front office, please. Raheem Morris, and I get it, because he did this last year in a blowout game, I think, against Seattle. He put Michael Penix in when the game was, not in doubt anymore. Just preserve your starting quarterback. You don't want your guy to get hurt. And maybe you want your young guy to get some reps. I don't know why Raheem Morris decided to insert Kirk Cousins into this game. Let me rephrase that. Logically, I get why he did that and put Kirk Cousins into the game, but you have to read the room as well. You're losing this game 30-0, right? Quarterback has played horrible. There's no way to get around that. I think you kind of got to let him keep taking his lumps, though. And, I don't think there was a major protection issue in the game, per se, that you just were worried about him getting hurt. Let him take his lumps, man. Simply for the fact that You don't want Kirk Cousins to come in, who's your $40 million backup quarterback, who has his helmet on the whole game on the sidelines because he's just chomping at the bit to get into the game. Kirk Cousins, you're a very smart guy, man. I see how you operate. I see why you've been able to do what you've done in the league so long, right? Optics, you know how to make things look good from the optics standpoint and play the good soldier. Why would you put yourself in this position, Raheem? Again, you're not Bill Belichick. You're not. I won't even. Mike Tomlin has people talking about him, but he's a long tenure coach. You're not John Harbaugh. You're not any of these coaches who've had Super Bowl championship success. They got a track record of being able to, say, hey, I made this decision. I'm standing on this. You knew as soon as you inserted Kirk Cousins to that game, the first question you were going to get in the press conference was, is there a quarterback controversy? Is Kirk going to start next week? Who's the starting quarterback? Do we have a quarterback competition now? You knew this was going to be the question. Why even open yourself up to that? It's 30-0. It's no need to add more to your plate. Read the room, Raheem. Raheem, you're skating on thin ice already, my guy. Certain people in this fan base were already saying, I don't think he's the guy. Before you got before you got hired. And then especially after last season, after you stuck with Kirk Cousins so long, when everyone was saying, hey, we got this quarterback we drafted. The season is slipping away from us. Why didn't we put in the young kid to see what he could do? You waited until the absolute last moment, and then you didn't have any wiggle room, and you don't make the playoffs. You're putting yourself behind the 8-ball every single time. And again, when Arthur Smith got fired, you can go check out a video I put up saying, hey, I really like Jim Harbaugh. I don't think he's coming here. It seems like he's going to the Chargers. I don't want Bill Belichick here. I think you probably should get a do-over with Raheem. You probably should have kept Raheem before you had Arthur Smith come in. Give Raheem a chance. He's been in a Super Bowl winning environment with Sean McVay in Los Angeles. He seems like he was young the first go around with Tampa Bay. He showed some promise when he was the interim coach here. And I hate to be this guy on a Monday morning, and it's only week 3, but I can kind of see what the issue was now with why people had trepidation maybe or some worry about him being the head coach, because he is making bad decision after bad decision. He's setting himself up. For these controversies, quarterback. You don't want to keep checking boxes on the wrong end to say, hey, man, this guy did this and it backfired. This guy didn't do this, and everyone was saying, hey, you should do this and it backfired. This guy held on to Koo too long, and we lost the game because of it. Why is Koo back to start this season? Now, and here is my frustration, and this is why, although I do this Falcons podcast, Bird Talk, why I say I'm not a Falcon fan, because of the dysfunction of the organization. Before Raheem Morris got hired, the question was it Arthur Smith who's in charge making decisions, or is it Terry, or is it a collaboration? Why is Terry not here at the press conference to discuss the firing, or did he make the decision? Was it you, Arthur Blank? Was it Rich McKay? Why is Rich McKay sitting here? They're an unserious organization. Arthur Blank is leaps and bounds better than Rankin Smith. You watch my GOAT Falcons video that we had on here, our first episode. We talked about Rankin Smith not even having a scouting department. Cool, but we're here now for 25 plus years with Arthur Blank. We can't keep saying he's better than Rankin Smith, or he's better than what we had before. We got to hold him to the fire. He spends the money. He will spend the money. I'll give him that. But the decisions he makes, you should have fired Rich McKay. You promoted him up to be your right-hand man. And you say he doesn't make decisions, but I don't know. You held on to Thomas Dimitroff too long. You held on to Dan Quinn too long. Yeah, and now, you set yourself up with the way you fired your last coach. The talk about, is Bill Belichick going to come in, the flirting with him. All of it just looks unserious. It looks like you are running a clown show, That's why I had the clown nose on them on the thumbnail, on the video when they were sitting up there talking about who they're going to hire as a coach. That's why I can't root for this team until there's a change at the top. Everything keeps pointing back to that, man. If you have bad leadership, it starts at the top. If your leadership is shaky, everything else is gonna trickle down. You can't. It's tough to overcome that, man. And like I said, respect Arthur Blank, great man in the community in Atlanta. He's done a lot with Home Depot and with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and he's doing a lot of stuff. And he's done a lot of stuff and put his imprint on the city. Again, much better owner than Rankin Smith. However, it's 25 years in now. People had hopes of a Super Bowl when he got here and thought things would change. And you when you're up against what what he had previously as a comparison, it's not going to be that difficult to say he did a better job. But at some point, fans have to hold him to the fire and say, this is an Arthur Blank problem. And I went off on a tangent just because talking about Raheem and can we even point the finger at Raheem? Does Raheem have the power to say, hey, I need a new kicker? Is Terry making that decision on his right? Why don't we know these things? Who's the person in charge? Oh, everything is collaborative. No, have a person in charge. Hire a GM that's in charge. Hire a president of football operations or whatever you need to do. That's the person that's in charge. Let them handle things and let the chain of command work from there. Talked about the offense already, how things have been going, struggling, red zone issues. B-Woo keeps telling about drops for guys. That may be part of the problem as well. Some drops. The running game didn't get going week one. Zach Robinson, I think, because he's an offensive coordinator and coach for the Atlanta Falcons, his poor performance probably means when Raheem is done, he'll be the head coach. Mark this down. Look at it. Remember I said it. Zach Robinson's poor performance probably won't result in him being fired as offensive coordinator. It probably will result in a promotion for him because that's the way the Atlanta Falcons do things. When you fail at your job, you're rewarded. Zach Robinson has to be better. Michael Penix has to be better. Drake London has to be better. Mooney has to be better. Bijan has to be consistent as well. Everyone on this team, on this offense specifically, has to be better. You have all of the weapons and talent. You have to produce them. Simple as that. If you're not producing, we got to get somebody in here who can. There's no reason you should score 0 points against Carolina. None. Arizona was able to put up points against them. Jacksonville was able to put up points against them. As an NFL, it's very difficult as an NFL team to get shut out. And I know things can start snowballing and it can get rolling and you can kind of, lose it a little bit. But I say all that to say it's unacceptable and everyone should be called to the carpet and figure this thing out. When you walk into DC next week, take on the Commanders. Don't look now. You got to go visit your old buddy Dan Quinn and Marcus Mariota. As a Falcon fan, you can only feel like this can only get worse. The guy who was a bomb for us at quarterback, who me on cover 2, continue to say, why are we wasting time with this guy? He's not an NFL quarterback. He looked like one against the Raiders. And I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. Much like last year when he played for the Raiders and started against you. Although you won that game because it was one of the ugliest football games ever on a Monday night game in Vegas. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get some revenge against this team. Falcons, listen, man. Don't put your fans in a position where Marcus Mariota is making them feel like, what the hell is going on? That's why I say it has to get better. Like it starts with today when they go in the Flowery Branch. Everybody has to say, I'm going to be the person that makes a change. I'm going to do my job. I'm not going to try to play hero ball, and then I'm going to do my job, my assignment, make sure I execute. And if each person does that, hopefully you can fix the things that are on the horizon. Because it's still early, man. You're 1-2. Tampa Bay has had 3 come from behind victories. A lot of teams early in the season have looked shaky, but they're winning the games. The Eagles are 3-0, but they very well could have lost 2 of those games. They could have lost all 3 of those games. The Lions play, of course, on Monday night tonight. We'll see what happens with them. The Cardinals are 2-1. They played the Saints and the Panthers. And then they lost to the 49ers in the game. They should have probably won. The 49ers are undefeated, but Mac Jones has started 2 of those games, and they are just finding a way to win too. The Rams blew a game. They haven't looked great either. They looked pretty good yesterday. That's probably the best they've looked, and they lost against some good competition, good come from behind win for the Eagles. It's still early, but we talked about these first 6 games when me and Big Woo sat down. You want to try to be, first 5 games for the Falcons. You want to try to be 3-2. Carolina was one of those games you probably had to win. Minnesota with a young quarterback early was one of the games I said, I think they can get that one. I think they can get Carolina. And now you don't got to face Jaden Daniels. So you still are getting a gift. You're getting another backup quarterback. You had Bryce Young. You've had, Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. I'll give you that. He's a feisty guy. He always does well against the Falcons. But you've had the odds kind of stacked in your favor. You had to face J.J. McCarthy in his second start ever. You got Bryce Young, who that's kind of a gift for you. But Bryce Young seems to be a Hall of Fame quarterback when he plays against the Falcons. If he played the Falcons every week, it would be no talk about him being benched, no talk about what his career is going to look like. He would be a Hall of Famer if he played. But everybody else in the league seems to have a pretty good handle on Bryce Young besides the Falcons. So that should be a game that you should handle. Definitely shouldn't lose 30 in that. Keep giving up 30 points to this guy. And the defense scores some points as well. Now you got Marcus Mariota, who I will continue to say is not an NFL quarterback. I know Jaden Daniels is supposed to be out 2 to 4 weeks, so maybe Jaden Daniels comes back. We'll see. We'll monitor that as the week goes on. Either you got a banged up Jaden Daniels or you got Marcus Mariota starting their quarterback. Those are your 2 options. This should be a game to get right. I know it's on the road. You played this team to the final drive last year. They're a playoff team. They're no great shakes either, in my opinion. I told you I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year before the season starts. You got to win this one, and then Buffalo is a real task. I think you still have to try, but it's at home. I think you still have to come out of this trying to be 3-2. And you put yourself behind the 8 ball, losing that game to Carolina. So there's no wiggle room now. If you're going to be a team that makes this season count and not say next year, like you've been saying, you gave up a year of Marcus Mariota and you wasted a year with Desmond Ridder. You wasted years with Matt Ryan when it was done. You continue to say next year. Put a stop to the next year stuff and get serious about things. And it starts this week, man. This is the week it starts. Go up to DC and handle your business. You got to do it. Zach Robinson, I need you locked in, my guy. You got to be. Players, y'all got to execute in the red zone. We need a running game to still work. Lean on that. And again, you paid Darnell Mooney. You got a first-round pick in Drake London. You got these weapons. Kyle Pitts, unicorn, top 4 pick. Supposed to be able to get down the field and stretch the field. Michael Penix, great generational arm talent is what we've been told. We've seen him do it in college. Stretch the ball down the field, man. Take some chances. What do you got to lose at this point? You're 1-2. If you go 1-3 and lose this game, it's probably a wrap for your season already. So go take some chances. Don't be so risk adverse. Still be smart with the football, but you got to take your shots. And guys got to make plays. You got a young quarterback, guys. I know Drake is young, but this is his 4th year, I think, in the league. Like we can't keep saying the young card. We can't keep playing we missed preseason. We got to get chemistry stuff together. No more excuses. Everybody has to show up and do their job. You didn't hire Bill Belichick, but you need to take his mantra, do your job. That's how you fix this thing. Can it be fixed? It's the Falcons, man. Y'all been Falcons fans. Throw it up in the sky. It's a 50-50 chance. It may not. I don't. But I think you got the opportunity to do that, man. You guys tell me what you think, man. Comment below. Do you think the Falcons can turn this thing around? Is the season over with? Do you want to see Kirk Cousins? Why would Raheem put Kirk Cousins out there? Do you think it's time for a quarterback change? I don't specifically. I think you got to let this young man work through this. You spent the first round pick on him. The genius move of drafting this guy. Play it out. What do you think about the Falcons' hopes against Commanders and the season going forward? Comment below. Let me know, man. Do me a favor. Make sure you like this video and do yourself a favor. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Myself and B-Woo give you some great content. We got some other friends that come on and talk NFL football with us. Nobody is doing it better than we're doing it right here. We give you bird talk each and every Monday. Cover 2 with B-Woo and Earl Knows It All on Tuesdays. Thursday, we give you NFL matchup. We cover every single game of the week, all of them. Week 1 to week 18, we've been giving you what we think will happen in those games. And then we give you pick 6 as well on Sundays. We'll give you our 6 picks that are sure to make you some bucks. We didn't do one this week. We put it in our community. We posted it. I was out enjoying life, man. Told you it's my anniversary week, so we're doing that and enjoying it. But I just had to come and talk to you Falcons fans because I love y'all so much, man. Love y'all. And I don't want y'all to have to suffer through these kind of things. I want to maybe let you know the sun will come up. It's up where I'm at. I don't know if it's up in Atlanta. Hopefully it is. But, man, you guys tell me what you think, man. Yesterday was the lowest of lows, right? So hopefully it can only get better. That's what we're going to end with. We're going to end with some positivity. Maybe it will only get better from here. That's what we're going to say. You guys tell me what you think, man. It's going to be all right, Falcons fans. You know, you've been through this before. You know, small thing to a giant, maybe, I guess. I don't know. You guys be blessed, man. Make sure you have a great day. And make sure you continue to keep them notifications turned on, too, because we're dropping some more heat. I'm sure myself and B-Woo will get back in the lab as well later on this week to discuss this DC game coming up, what you can do against the Commanders. You're going to get to hear his thoughts as well, man. So thank you guys for watching, man. Y'all be blessed. We'll catch y'all later on in the week. Peace.